What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday out there. Woodward Bets back in the house. Beer and Scott here. Scott living it up at the studio once again, and heard a little party in there today. So a little bit jealous here. I'm still at in my own little studio here at Woodward Bets, but you're living it up with the crew today. So happy Friday to you. Happy Friday to everybody out there. The weekend is here, and we are here to give you some knowledge, give you some picks, talk some sports. Scotty, how we doing, buddy?
Yeah, can't complain. Got to come in the Woodward Sports studio here today and brought the fellas some Freddy's Pizza. We had some 8.7s in here today. So the Woodward Bets wanted to share a little love with all the hardworking people behind the scenes here at Woodward Sports. So, Chris, they did want to pass on the thank you to you as well. For throwing some pizzas on the table for us today. So, and then also right after that, Chris, our man Joey Bell walks in and drops a bunch of Chick-fil-A on the counter. Now, for a fat guy, after eating some Freddy's Pizza, and then you drop some nuggets on the counter, I mean, that was just too good to be true there for a minute. So, yeah, definitely enjoyed coming in here. But, Chris, I got to tell you, you missed out yesterday, buddy. We had a friend of mine on who's a veteran, 27 years as an Army Ranger, 15 tours, Chris. And, man, he told us some pretty cool stories. He made the hair stand up on my arms when he was telling the story about after him and all his crew were wounded and they got to go to the Caps game. But, man, that guy's got more medals than the stinking Hall of Fame for the Olympics. He's a special dude, man. I was glad to have him on yesterday for Veterans Day.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was able to catch that show. Wasn't able to be on yesterday, but glad that he was. And those are the kind of people we love to salute and give that attention to. And Beasley brought up some great points yesterday. Those are the true heroes that we sometimes forget. When we're talking about Kyler Murray and some of these other guys and Derek Jeter and yada yada yada. These are the true heroes. So I'm glad that he was able to be on the show, share some of those stories. And that's some of the stuff we want to do here at Woodward Bets. We want this, again, to be very community-oriented and honor those that have made that sacrifice and to serve the time. And like you said, 27 tours. That's absolutely incredible. So glad he was able to be on the show yesterday. If you guys missed that, please go back and check it out. All the shows on demand. You can catch them on Twitter at Woodward Sports. You can follow us at Woodward Bets. The shows are also on YouTube. So if you're watching there, please hit that thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Lastly, Scott, I want to introduce the sponsor of the show. And unless you've been living under a rock, you guys have heard of Underdog Fantasy. If you haven't, very easy to download. Apple App Store, Google Play Store, either way. But this is a fun, slick mobile app, very easy to use. Mostly known for their best ball draft, Scott, but they also have a lot of different ways to parlay up different props in all of the major sports. The more you pick, the more your odds increase, the more chances for big money you have to win. So to get you guys set up, special offer just for you guys listening to the show here, use our promo code WSN, deposit $10. You're going to get $10 free in your Underdog account to check it out. So go and download it today. Promise you, you're going to like what you see. That's Underdog Fantasy. Promo code WSN. Now, Scott, let's recap real quick. Last night, kind of a debacle of a game there. Thursday Night Football was ugly. Lamar Jackson and company simply looked lost, and watching some of the breakdowns of how Miami schemed their defense and, looked like they're going to blitz. They dropped some guys back, and it really seemed to confuse Lamar Jackson. So you wonder, is this the beginning of teams figuring him out? We've seen this before with quarterbacks who come in and make a splash. And I'm not trying to overreact to one game, but we have seen this before where, okay, the tape is out. Teams know how to scheme now. Is this one bad night? Is this team's kind of figuring out how to slow this offense down a little bit? Overall thoughts on the game. Kind of shocked. Miami won. I thought they'd be competitive. I did not see him win in this game. So overall thoughts, Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, I got to give you kudos. I mean, you went on the bottom line a little earlier yesterday, about 3:30, I believe, 3:36 that you've been on with the bottom line. And that's 2 weeks in a row you've called an upset on the show. So I know yesterday you told them you were going to shock them and you were going to take the Dolphins. And that did play out. Now, I mean, we do got to take into consideration that they were on a short week. They did play on the Monday night before, so we did see that. And the Dolphins did scheme. They had a great scheme for him. It seemed to work out. Lamar was pretty frustrated. Now, maybe, Chris, that's a little bit of the Miami City hangover, possibly. You know, them boys getting in there to Miami. Don't know. Maybe they partied it up. You know, we kind of talk about that being a tough city to go to for a road team, them and Vegas here in the NFL. But, yeah, I'll tell you, though. But, Chris, how could you not love to play with the offensive lineman when he catches the screen pass and then over his head he's jumping and he throws the ball and gets it over the line? And, you know, if he was an eligible receiver, that was definitely a touchdown and a pretty athletic play for a big fella like that. I know I was hoping when I was watching it unfold, I was like, please be eligible, please be eligible. I mean, I kind of knew he wasn't. I mean, that's generally not the case, but I did enjoy that play. That was pretty awesome.
Nothing better than big guy touchdowns. And I don't care how they come. Defensively, a play like that, when the guy is eligible and he kind of sneaks off the line and catches it, and then they spike it. There is nothing better in football than the big guy touchdown. You know how bad I was rooting for that guy? When he stretched that ball out, you could see the replay. He's over the line. And then they go back and they're like, yeah, there's no way this guy's eligible. So it was a hell of a play and a great performance by Miami. So you got to give it up to their defense. Caused some turnovers, scored some touchdowns. Fantasy-wise, obviously a big disappointment with guys like Lamar Jackson, Hollywood Brown. Andrews ends up getting a touchdown. Even the Miami side of things, not a ton of stuff to write home about. We saw Tua enter back into the lineup when Brissett went down. Kind of an awkward situation where Tua's not starting because he's dealing with a finger injury. Brissett gets hurt. In comes Tua. Brissett says he's ready to go back in, and they roll with Tua. So I think that's going to continue to be each and every week. Who's going to be the quarterback here? Is Tua 100%? Certainly didn't look that way, but kudos to Miami for getting it done there. And anyone that did jump on that bet. But as we always say, we're only as good as today, so we hope to give you guys more winners today. So the plan for today, we're going to look at the NBA at the end of the show. We'll give you some DFS plays and some thoughts on the slate. And, of course, we'll give you some NBA best bets at the end of the show. Scott, we got a big football game tonight, though. Just a quick – we got to talk here because we got a little side action on this thing. Super excited for all of these kids, you know, on both sides of the ball. There's nothing better than a big high school football playoff game. I think they got to win two more, and then they end up at Ford Field. So one of these two teams is going to be one win away from playing for the state championship. So we got your squad there, Livonia Franklin, my nephew CJ Aldred, and his Waterford Mott's crew is on a roll right now. So give me the lowdown here, Scott. What's Livonia Franklin bringing to the table here, real quick, on Friday night?
Well, I can tell I haven't paid really that close of attention to where I can break down like a normal DFS game for you. But I can tell you the quarterback for Franklin's pretty good, Zach Olesic, good buddy of mine, son. He's something else. 177 yards rushing last week. He threw for a score. He's been in the system for a long time. Franklin, with their Livonia football, their Pee Wee teams actually run the offenses for the high school as they go through. So a lot of time spent already in the system. But, yeah, looking forward to it. It's not that cold outside, thankfully. So when we go to watch tonight, we won't be freezing our asses off. But, yeah, nothing like some high school playoff football. But may the best team win. I'm looking forward to it. Now, I did hear, Chris, in the state rankings, I believe – the Waterford Mott, between all the teams, are ranked somewhere around 100, and I think Franklin was ranked around like 70-something, 78, something like that. So, but you guys did get the home game by about a half a point from what I was told. So the teams are really close as far as points, not too far at matchups. But, yeah, like you mentioned, they're one win away. You look at all the other teams. These teams here have, 3 or 4 or 5 losses, barely made it into the playoffs, and then all the other teams are – some of the powerhouses are going to have to play each other. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to this game tonight, hang out with some friends, and probably run into some high school people I haven't seen in a few years. So should be fun. But, Chris, I kind of wish it was at Livonia Franklin. It'd be a little closer for you and I. The better part would have been is my buddy's backyard backs up to the field, so we could have sat in his backyard and drank some beers and watched this game. So that would have been a little bit more fun than having to travel all the way out to Waterford, but still looking forward to it. Like you said, always fun to get out there with some high school games. So we got a little wager on it. Now the people me and you are definitely betting on this. So we're going to have some beers on the line, have a few dollars on the line, but definitely I'm sure. But just to warn you, Chris, you saw the picture I sent you of the Franklin Bruiser. So don't think y'all are coming over to brawl with us, because we got that fella on our team. And you saw how he fits in that Franklin football jersey. Not too well. So, but should be fun.
Yeah, he's intimidating for sure. I wish we had a picture to fire up here on stream. Maybe we can get that going. But yeah, the boys at Mott have been playing well. Been on a roll. Took out Wild Lake Western last week, which is one of their main rivals. My nephew's about my size, playing on both sides of the ball. So when you see somebody wreaking havoc, Scott, on both sides, a big 68 offensively and defensively, you'll know who he is, and a very talented quarterback here as well. Sophomore Caleb, I forget his last name, but he's been phenomenal as well. So sounds like two quarterbacks that love to run the ball. Maybe a little windy, a little rainy, so it's going to be who can establish that run tonight. But super excited. Sounds like the game may sell out, so it's going to be one of those big-time atmospheres. So good luck to both sides here, especially the Waterford Mott side. And don't be the guy that you guys are betting on high school football. This is Woodward Bets. Of course we're betting on some damn high school football. But maybe it's illegal, maybe not. These are children. Who knows? But guess what? Woodward Bets, we get to do what we want in the betting world. And we're putting a little fun wager on the line here. So excited for that game, Scott. But let's update some of the NFL injuries we've seen. A lot of stuff to get through here with the NFL. Actually, you know what? Let's do our sit-start questions first. We had some people send in some good sit-start questions. So let's start there. I want to highlight these and get to them. If you guys have questions for the show, could be a sit-start. It could be a trade. It could be a dynasty question, a DFS question, a betting question, whatever it may be, head over to Twitter at Woodward Bets. We will select the best 5 each and every week and read them live on the show every Friday. So we'll start with easy. 1994 wants to know Brandon Bolden or Henderson. I'm guessing he means Darrell Henderson, Scott.
Yeah, I think Bolden's going to get a little bit extra run this week. If it was the long term, obviously Bolden wouldn't be my guy here. Henderson would be the guy, but I actually think Bolden has a little better matchup this week. So I'm going to roll with Bolden in this spot here. I just think New England's going to rely on the run a little bit more. I actually heard Jonnu Smith might get a little bit of run at running back this week for New England. So I got to assume Bolden's going to get the lion's share and get quite a few carries. So I actually like Bolden this week.
I'm going to stick with Henderson here, but Bolden is very intriguing. I mean, we had no practice today for Damian Harris or Ramondre Stevenson. Initially, it sounded like Stevenson was going to be back at practice, but both guys missing on Friday, never a good sign. So it very well may be Brandon Bolden and Jonnu Smith in that backfield this week. So I am intrigued by Bolden. I think if you're in a season-long league, he becomes a pretty solid RB2 flex play for you. Jonnu Smith obviously gets a bump at an ugly tight end position here. But Darrell Henderson's still a guy, I think even against San Francisco, I prefer here over Brandon Bolden. So Burger 361 wants to know Aaron Jones or James Conner. So another tough running back question here, Scott.
Yeah, I kind of like James Conner here just because of the touchdowns. He's leading the NFL in touchdowns, so I'm just going to roll with that. You really can't go wrong with either guy here in this spot. But yeah, I can see why you're asking this question because you're probably you're probably leaning Conner and you don't want to sit Jones. But I think Conner here, especially if you're playing in a site or a format that's got a little bit more touchdown equity, I think I would roll with Conner.
I'm going Aaron Jones here, but it's very, very close. I mean, Conner, no Chase Edmonds, great matchup. They're big home favorites. The guy seemingly scores touchdowns every week. In fact, it's usually multiple touchdowns. He's done that 4 times already this season. So very close, but I like this spot for Aaron Jones as well. Seattle has not shown the ability to stop the run. I know A.J. Dillon has gotten involved there, but Jones still going to be involved in the passing game. I prefer Jones, but very, very close. I really like James Conner this week, especially in DFS. If this is a DFS question, Scott, I'm saying James Conner because he's a lot cheaper. It's that close for me, but just heads up, Aaron Jones for me. All right, Tom G. Football Guy wants to know Logan Thomas or Pat Freiermuth. Now, Freiermuth for me either way, but Logan Thomas still looking kind of iffy to play this weekend. So even if he's in there, is he 100%? Does he get all the snaps? I know they're going to have to throw the ball a lot against Tampa Bay, but it's hard to argue with the way Freiermuth's been playing. Gets the Lions this week. Is Chase Claypool healthy? Maybe he's the number 2, number 3 option in the passing game behind Deontay Johnson and Najee Harris. So I like Freiermuth either way in this one.
Yeah, I think the Lions are they're going to – I just don't like their chances here, and especially if Najee Harris is out or he's limited at all. I think that, they're going to have to throw the ball a little bit. Claypool injury issues as well this week. So, yeah, I like Freiermuth. I'm not quite ready yet for Thomas, but Freiermuth's been scoring some touchdowns lately, so I'm going to keep it simple and go with him in the good matchup here against the Lions.
Yeah, if you're holding that guy in a dynasty league, be very happy. To be this productive as a rookie at the tight end position is generally unheard of. So Pittsburgh generally has that big tight end. They love to throw the ball to. That guy is clearly not Eric Ebron. Pat Freiermuth, the future very, very bright there for this kid. So last one, Noah Arks, 1836 wants to know, would you trade Christian McCaffrey for Aaron Jones? So the running backs hot and heavy here this week. Would you make that deal, Scott? I know you've been a proponent of trading away Christian McCaffrey. Is Aaron Jones enough of a return here?
I would have hit that accept button so fast, the head would have spun. They would have probably would have got some messages from my buddies like, why are you trading CMC? But I just don't believe in that he's going to stay healthy the rest of the way. So if I can get any kind of 1A or 1B type running back for Christian McCaffrey, especially if it's not a dynasty, I'm dealing CMC as fast as I can. Now I may be a little scarred from last year, going through the whole he's coming back, he plays for a week or two, then he's out again, and then he's going to come back, and then he's not back, and yada 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 and so forth. So maybe I'm a little scarred from that, especially when you pick a guy 1-on-1 in the draft. You expect a little bit more out of him, but I got to believe if you drafted him, you're probably not doing too well unless you really nailed some of your second, third, and fourth round picks and been injury free, which has been tough this year. So yeah, I would definitely trade CMC for Aaron Jones. Now I understand, you got Dylan coming around and stuff like that, but I'm just so afraid of CMC. And like I said, maybe I'm scarred, but I think I'd make that trade in a heartbeat.
I think you could get more. I get the points. I get the concern with McCaffrey for sure, but I think you can get a little bit more in Aaron Jones. And Aaron Jones, a guy that people probably a little bit worried about with as much as A.J. Dillon's been involved here of late. It's becoming almost a split right down the middle. It's not quite there yet, but if we get a situation like we have in Denver, I think Jones will always be the bigger part of this committee and be the bigger part of the passing game. But McCaffrey, if he's even 85% of what he can be, the guy is a difference maker. So I get the concerns with health, no doubt, but we'll see. If Cam Newton ends up as the quarterback, maybe that's an upgrade over what they're going to roll out here over the next couple of weeks with PJ Walker. Does that help? So I still think McCaffrey, I don't hate trading him away, but I think you can do a little bit better than Aaron Jones. So, Scott, let's get into some of the injuries here for this week. Some of the stuff from yesterday, and we'll update some more stuff we heard from today. So Keenan Allen limited in practice yesterday, dealing with a knee injury. I don't sound overly concerned, but we'll keep an eye on that. DK Metcalf, same missed yesterday. Julio Jones limited in Thursday practice. James Robinson sounds like he may be making a return to that Jacksonville lineup. More wide receiver injuries. Amari Cooper, Chase Claypool. Amari was limited. Chase Claypool did not practice yesterday. Najee Harris limited practice on Thursday. Donovan Peoples-Jones did not participate in practice on Thursday as well. Devonta Smith dealing with an elbow injury, but he did practice yesterday, so sounding good for him. Zach Moss limited practice Thursday, so he is listed as questionable this week. Chris Godwin going to be a game time decision for Tampa Bay. Antonio Brown ruled out today. So kind of limiting that target tree there. If it's Evans and Godwin, I love that double stack with Tom Brady this week in DFS. And Alvin Kamara, another day of no practice, looking doubtful in that game against Tennessee. And we kind of talked about that, Scott, and jumping on Tennessee. It didn't sound good with Kamara. If they're missing Kamara, I find it hard to believe that they can go in and beat this Tennessee Titans team. I mean, that is their main weapon. We'll see how that line reflects to that. Other news not here. Other news injury-wise, CEH probably not returning this week. I know there was some optimism he would be back. So we'll wait and see on that, but not looking good for Clyde Edwards-Helaire quite yet. Arizona, DeAndre Hopkins, Rondale Moore will be game-time decisions at the wide receiver position. Kyler Murray will also be a game-time decision, so we'll keep an eye on that. But he was back at practice, so a little bit encouraging news there with Kyler Murray. Logan Thomas, we just talked about, doesn't look like he's going to be ready to go. We spoke on the New England backfield with Damian Harris and Stevenson. Cam Newton not going to play this week, most likely. So half joking there with Cam Newton, but they brought him in, and I don't think P.J. Walker is going to be great. So maybe a guy you want to go at if you're real thin at quarterback, you're in a super flex league. Maybe he's somebody you want to look at. Cole Beasley sounds like he'll be back in the lineup along with Dawson Knox for the Bills, so that will certainly help that offense there. And then we heard Ryan Tannehill did not practice today, but sounds like just dealing with an illness. Should be fine this week for the Tennessee Titans. So, Scott, lots of injuries, lots of updates there. Anything stand out above the rest? Anything I missed there? Just tie a bow on this injury situation here on a Friday in the NFL.
Yeah, the Najee Harris one for me is one that I'm going to keep my eyes on. He's just in such a good spot this weekend. So I have to keep our eyes on that. I don't think even if he plays the Lions, even if he doesn't play the Lions, I don't see him having a chance. But definitely a guy that you want to keep your eye on. And Chris, them signing Cam Newton, I don't know if you saw, I tweeted a couple times, man. To me, that's like putting spoiled milk back in the refrigerator. I mean, who does that? Nobody puts spoiled milk back in the fridge. So I was kind of surprised to see Carolina bring him back, but just shows you how desperate they are for a quarterback. But, yeah, that'll be interesting seeing old Cam Newton there come back and see what he can do. But I'm not expecting much out of him. Like I said, I don't think he's got much left in that tank.
You know who does that? And you have kids. My kids would do that. They'd leave that milk sitting out for days, eating their cereal, and they would definitely put it back in there and either try to prank their sisters or try to get me with it. So that's who would put spoiled milk back. So the Carolina Panthers and children. I'm sure we've all dealt with stuff like that with our kids. So anything else here in the NFL we want to hit on, Scott? Again, stay tuned. And make sure you're joining us on Sunday where we really dig in to the NFL slate. If you missed our breakdown, we're going to do it every single Wednesday to get it out a little earlier, get our initial thoughts out for the week, both fantasy-wise, betting-wise. So if you missed that, again, you can catch that on demand at Woodward Sports or at Woodward Bets on Twitter and also on YouTube. Sunday, we'll do more of a live question and answer type show. So excited for that. So if you guys want to join us for that, that will be on Sunday morning. But again, we broke down the entire slate of games on Wednesday. So make sure you guys are checking that out. So any other thoughts in the NFL, Scott? Or are we ready to talk some NBA here tonight?
I'm ready to go for some NBA, but NFL, I'm still laughing last night about that lineman. I got tickled. That tickled me when that dude lifted that ball over the line. That was pure gold. But Chris, I gotta say, our Drunk Stewie segment that we had, the drunk guy pick last week, we've been getting a lot of feedback from that. I know a lot of people like that. So hey, I just want to get it out there. If you're out there with your buddy and your buddy or something similar situation thinks he can make some picks, you know what? Videotape them, kind of like we did. You can do it on your phone. I ended up doing that one last week, and then I actually saved it to Google and then was able to share the file, because when you text or do whatever else, that video file is not as clear, obviously. But Chris, we want you guys, if you guys are out there with your friends and you want to tape something like that, send it to us. I think that segment seemed to do pretty well. And, that was pure. Like, Stewie was not faking that. He was obviously pretty drunk. Don't know if we're going to be able to get him like that every week consistently. So we're going to have to catch him when we can. But if there's some others out there, we all got that buddy who likes to have a little bit too much fun and yuck it up a little bit. And we're going to encourage that a little bit here at Woodward Bets. So if you guys got some video you can send us, we'd appreciate that. And you never know, maybe it'll catch the airwaves and we can have some fun with that one as well. So Chris, if you out there tonight, maybe me and you will have to, after the game, have some beers, and maybe we'll be out there in the field tonight as a reporter. Maybe we'll find us the next drunk Stewie that we can share with the people.
There you go. You want to be a star? We got a platform for you. So if you got some bets, we'd love to see it. Send those to us at Woodward Bets. Try to keep it. It doesn't have to be PG, but just know the limitations of what we could show on the show. Stewie nailed it. Hopefully you guys went opposite of his picks with a little 3-team parlay and made some money there. 0-3. So, you know, that's generally what's going to happen when you get a drunk guy just randomly picking spreads at the bar. There is a little bit more science to it. Sometimes it seems as easy as that. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So, Scott, let's dive into the NBA before we wrap up today, and we'll finish off the show with our best bet segment at the end. But NBA, a lot of games on a Friday night, got 11 games on the docket here and a ton of injuries as well. So I'll run through some of the guys we know are already out. Milwaukee, once again, will be thin. No Brook Lopez, no Chris Middleton, no LeBron James once again tonight. So he sounds like he's going to be out a couple more weeks. Nikola Vucevic of Chicago will also be out tonight. No Jaylen Brown for Boston. What else? Colin Sexton, Kevin Love, Lauri Markkanen are out for Cleveland, so they're pretty thin. And then we got Michael Porter Jr. Out for the Denver Nuggets. So those are some of the big names here. Kelly Olynyk of the Pistons, a local name, not going to play tonight. So DFS-wise, Scott, I think there's a lot of good mid-range, cheaper guys. Some of the guys I like real quick, and then we'll get to your plays. Really like Josh Giddey of the Oklahoma City Thunder, been playing extremely well. DeAnthony Melton, a guy that'll step in with Dylan Brooks, out tonight for Memphis. He's pretty cheap across the industry. Lonzo Ball gets a nice usage bump when Vucevic is off the floor. So those are a few of the cheaper guys I like. And then on the high end, you can always make a case for some of these Lakers with LeBron James out. Giannis always in play. But Scott, the guy I really like tonight, Nikola Jokic, in a great spot. Huge numbers anytime Michael Porter Jr. Does not play. So he's very expensive, but he's the guy I definitely want to put my chips on tonight and spend up on. So DFS thoughts here, Scott, on the slate, some of the plays you're looking at here for tonight.
Yeah, you definitely want to piss off Mr. Jokic. We saw that the last game there, and it sounds like you don't want to make his brothers too mad either. So Jokic is definitely a great play. So is Ricky Rubio. I don't mind him as well in that spot that he's in tonight. Definitely like the Lonzo Ball call. Kind of looking at Isaiah Stewart on the Pistons tonight as a guy that low-priced guy you might be able to use. But if you don't go Jokic, I think you pretty much got to jam in Giannis. So I think that's a decision you're going to have to make, either Jokic or Giannis. But I definitely like the Joker here in this spot. Maybe some SGA. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is another guy, and I do like your Josh Giddey call. But yeah, for me, Jokic is probably my top play.
All right, let's go into our favorite part of the show. We're talking best bets here. Recap of how did yesterday's best bets do on the show? Good day, bad day?
I think we were about 500. I didn't check from our guest. I didn't check his hockey calls. I know me personally, I was 1-1, but I did not hit the over, Chris. I had the over of that football game, and I about threw the computer out the window about halftime. I knew that was not going to come through for us. But then they go and they score 23 points in the fourth quarter. It's like, where was this the whole game? Like, that's the way the game should have been at the beginning, which I kind of expected. I thought Miami would be able to move the ball up and down the field on Baltimore, especially as poor as they are with the pass defense. But, yeah, I missed out on that one a little bit. But, you know, like you said, you're only as good as what you did yesterday. I know we've been pretty hot overall as far as the week goes. But, yeah, let's get us some winners tonight and get some more lunch money for us today.
All right, I'm going to let you lead it off here. Best bets for Friday night. Again, the record's been solid. Let's continue the trend here. What do you got? What are your best bets here, Scott, for Friday night?
Well, I got two that I'm looking at. For one, I do like the New York Knicks tonight, giving away 1.5 to Charlotte. I think the Knicks here are in a good spot. I like how they've been playing defense lately. And then I do like attacking Houston. I don't think Houston's very good at all. And I do like Portland here, giving Houston 6 on the road. So I have Portland -6, and then I have the Knicks minus the 1.5.
All right, I'm going to give you 3 of my favorite bets here tonight in the NBA, 2 spread picks and a total pick. First one, I'm going to go with the Milwaukee Bucks here in Boston. Bucks -1, no Jaylen Brown there for Boston, I think is a big one. And I know the Bucks are thin as well, but Giannis can carry this team. Can Jason Tatum do the same for Boston? Some of those other pieces, I'm not sold on guys like Dennis Schroeder, things like that. I think this Bucks team pulls it together. And I think they win comfortably here. So -1 at a lot of places out there, including FanDuel and DraftKings. So we'll start with the Bucks. Next one, I'm going to give you an underdog. I'm going to go with Atlanta, +4 in Denver. As much as I like Nikola Jokic, I think the loss of Porter, you're already without Jamal Murray. I think they're going to be short on offense a little bit here. And this Atlanta squad, better than people think. So it's been a slow start to the season for Atlanta, no doubt. You're looking at the records. You're looking at Denver probably blowing them out here. I think Atlanta is either competitive or wins this game. So we'll go with +4. That's the majority of what I found. There is a 4.5 out there at BetMGM right now. Some 3.5s as well. So if you can find a 4, we'll lock in Hawks +4. And then I'm going to total, Scott. I'm going over in the Minnesota and Lakers game tonight, 223. There are some 222.5s, but we'll say 223 here for the sake of the best bet segment. Just 2 teams that I think are going to get up and down the floor, play at a very good pace. Minnesota, a lot of athletes on that team. Karl Anthony Towns. We saw Anthony Edwards go nuts the other night. D'Angelo Russell, another guy I like tonight. And then the Lakers, not having to slow things down with LeBron, I think makes them that much faster with Westbrook and Anthony Davis here. So I like the over there. So again, to recap, I like Milwaukee -1, Atlanta +4 in Denver, and over 223 in the Minnesota and Lakers game. So Scott, let's hope for another 5-0 night in the NBA. So good luck if you guys tail those picks. If they do well for you, hey, let us know at Woodward Bets. We'd love to see you guys succeed. That's a big part of why we're doing this. We want you guys out there getting the fruits as well. So, Scott, final thoughts for the people. Big high school football game tonight. Definitely looking forward to that. We got college football tonight as well. Certainly some games you can bet there. The NFL right around the corner. And, of course, NFL is right around the corner here 2 days away. So, final thoughts for the people here Friday night. What do we got?
Well, definitely looking forward to this high school game tonight. Should be a lot of fun. Like you said, we like to get out there for the excitement. Should be a sellout, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, Chris, Friday night we're getting. I heard there's some snow coming here in the near future, so looks like we're gonna have to get ready for that time of the year, which is unfortunate. But yeah, glad to get out there tonight. Glad it's not snowing on us. Looks like some decent weather, and you should be pretty easy to pick out because you stand a little higher than most in the crowd. So I'm sure I'll be able to find you. But you know, you can find me with the big fella I'm going to be with that football jersey on that quite doesn't fit him quite right. But yeah, we'll be seeing you out there at Waterford tonight.
Do we have that image yet? Do we have that fired up, ready to go?
I did. I did fire it over to the fellas. I texted to them.
All right. That's all right. We're putting them on the spot here, so we'll save that. That'll be the if
they're going to put it in the post. They're going to put it in the post-production. So, yeah, we're not seeing it now as we're taping, but those boys are going to put it in there for us. So we'll get a chuckle out of that. But he's the Franklin Bruiser, so look out.
There you go. So good luck to all them boys tonight. Excited about that. Come back tomorrow morning, Scott and our boy Detroit Beastie breaking down all the college football action in the top 25. And Scott and I will be back again on Sunday doing a little bit of a change. So if you want to join us, get up early. Let's talk some football. We want to hear from you guys with a Q&A session there talking the NFL. So Fun Friday night here. Excited about things here at Woodward Bets. Excited to have you guys aboard. We appreciate everybody for listening, tuning in. Again, go follow us at Woodward Bets on Twitter. Follow the network at Woodward Sports and go and check out Underdog Fantasy and use our promo code WSN for $10 free on a $10 deposit. For Scott, I am Beer, and our boys behind the glass. Got to thank them as well. We appreciate it, fellas. Thank you all for listening. Good luck in your bets tonight, and have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you Sunday. Scott will be back with you tomorrow morning. We are Woodward Bets. Thanks for watching, everybody.